Welcome to OSG Live, where we inspire you to fall in love with your business. Get set to join your hosts, Tanya, Becky, Kylene, and Aaron for your weekly motivation. It's time to share your wins, express gratitude, and choose positive changes. Jump into the comments and share your thoughts with the rest of the OSG community. Coming up, OSG Wellness Super Tools to nourish your mind and body, small business success gems to uncover hidden gems of business excellence, and the uncommon mindset to challenge the status quo.
Your journey to success and happiness starts now.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. I cannot believe it is 2024 already, but there are so many exciting things to come this year, and we just welcome you. And oh, by the way, I'm Tanya from Gracie Digital Designs. So sorry.
That's all right.
No worries. Happy New Year, everyone. I am Kylene with Rise, Shine, Smile.
Good morning and Happy New Year. I am Becky with BK Custom Tees.
Well, I guess we got the Happy New Year's going, but I'll keep that rolling. Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome to 2024. My name's Aaron Montgomery. I'm with our Success Group, and I cannot wait to kick off 2024 with the Fab Four here and just inspiring you guys to continue to fall in love with your business. We want you to take care of your whole self. So that's always exciting for us to get to share the tools that we use in our daily lives here. And so I'm excited about that. But Kylene, where do we need to kick off 2024 here?
Okay, this is really important. With gratitude. As you guys have heard me say many times, gratitude is our superpower. We all have access to gratitude. When we're in a state of gratitude, we're in a state of abundance. And therefore, we start paying attention to all the amazing things around us. We start attracting even more good things to us. And then our vibration raises. We have more positive thoughts and more good feelings. And I think most of us are trying to strive for more good in our life. So we're going to bring more good energy to our show today. So I can start today. I am really grateful for a wonderful holiday that we had as a family. That's what I'm grateful for today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm grateful for the new year, new opportunities, and to get back on track with my fitness and health journey.
That's awesome.
My turn?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead, Becky. Sorry. I was doing too many things at once.
I am grateful for being able to travel to family. We had with the weather here, we got to adjust all of our Christmas plans, but it also gave us the opportunity to see both of our families on the same weekend. So we made it a jam-packed fun weekend this last weekend. So
Love it.
I'm grateful for that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And we want to hear from you guys that are tuned in live right now. Speaking of that, let's say good morning here. Chuck in bright and early this morning. Thanks for being here, Chuck. And Tanya already has welcomed him in, but good stuff there. And we have Mo checking in. Good morning, Mo. Good to see you here. And also Barb from the north central Minnesota area up there. So thank you guys so much for being here. We do want to hear what you guys are grateful for too. The more gratitude we can express, all of us, right? Because, Kylene shared, yep, I got to be part of that family stuff, right? Tanya talked about opportunities. I'm like, yeah, oh man, I feel my vibration go up. Becky, time with family. Oh, yep, exactly right. So that's how this works, right, you guys? So you can't just sit and take, right? You have to give to really kind of feel that full vibration. So let us know what you guys are grateful for here this morning. For me, I am grateful for all the things that you guys shared. I'm right there with you. I definitely whoop, 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 kept moving up the ladder listening to you guys. But I am also very grateful for the fact that I was able to finally push publish on the old book. So it is out there live on Amazon. I'll have a link for everybody a little bit later, but thank you guys for the celebration there. Very proud moment for me and took a lot of effort, but and I had a lot of help and support, and it's there. So I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say about it. So speaking of gratitude, Barb said, I'm grateful I can make choices for myself, being able to choose, right, Tanya?
Yes, absolutely.
So wonderful. All right. Well, yeah, thank you, Mo. Appreciate that. All right. Well, like I said, you guys that are tuned in right now, share with us what you're grateful for. If you are catching the replay of this, same thing, just pop that in the comments. We love interacting with everybody after the fact as well. And always looking to hear what you guys are grateful for. But we have a wellness toolbox that, are you guys ready to dive into that?
We are.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's do that right now.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Tanya.
Hello.
I'm excited to talk about our topic today. I think it's really an important one. One I think we've mentioned down here the importance of it, but especially this time of year as we start 2024. So what we're going to share with you guys today is reflection and the importance of reflecting back. Look back on 2023 and look and celebrate what you're proud of. What kind of growth did you have? What kind of accomplishments? And maybe even looking at the things that didn't go so well. What can you pull from that? What kind of learning can you pull from that? Sometimes things don't happen for a reason, and maybe that is a blessing. And so it's choosing, right, to find what you can gain from that experience. And really bringing in that positive energy as you move into 2024. It's just really powerful, that reflection.
I agree. And this tool is something that I hadn't used in the past a lot. And so on the Choose Challenge, I have every week reflect and celebrate. So we're going to reflect on 2023, but we're also going to reflect going forward into the new year. Because reflection is a powerful tool for self-discovery. We can learn from it, we can grow, and it allows individuals to gain insights into making better decisions, figuring out what works and what doesn't, and you can continuously evolve to become our best selves, creating that uncommon mindset. Remembering that each moment is a step in our journey towards intentional living. So there's that word that we come up with every week is intention. It seems like choose and intention kind of go together.
Most definitely. And I think that is part of this, right? We want to, if we're growth minded, right, we're looking ahead in the year. What do we want to accomplish? What do we, how do we want to design our life? And that's all the areas of our life. And when we reflect back on the prior year, we can recognize where were we really strong, where did we stand out, where were things really feeling right, and maybe some areas that were a little bit weaker. Maybe we need, in that area, we need to learn to ask for some help. Maybe we need to say, well, maybe that's not something that is as meaningful for me. Maybe that's why my effort or my performance or my outcome wasn't what I thought it was going to be. All of that is part of that. I know for me, I just went through my reflection of 2023, and it was, it was a very emotional experience, looking back and having to look at some of the obstacles that showed up. I know you've had some challenges the past year, but look at where you're at now. And I think for me, that was like that celebrating moment. I was like, I still move forward. Maybe I'm not where I want to be, but I still had that awareness.
Mm-hmm. It's been very helpful for me, especially these past few months, because I don't know if you guys can tell by my voice, as I have a cold again, and it's really frustrating. So I'm just reflecting and making the celebrations for how far I have come. I have regained my mobility. I have done things that I never would have done in the past, and I'm moving forward. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I think about like you just saying that makes me think of you signing up for your Tough Mudder. I mean, that's huge. Can you imagine last year at this time saying this is my goal?
No, not at all. Not at all. Especially looking back on videos. TikTok has become kind of like a therapeutic whatever, but they have on this day videos. So you can look back to what you posted a year ago and the changes I can see now. And I can remember how I was feeling in those moments. And so it's been very, very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very empowering when you can reflect back and we're talking about, you know, all the different areas of your life. Obviously, we're focused on business, but you know, our business is all of us. So in order to show up for our business and ourselves, we have to look at all these different areas of our life. And, you know, it helps us make those better decisions moving forward when we look back and take the time. I hope this is coming across not to stay in the past, because that can happen, and I've been guilty of that, but to really move forward and use that as just a learning experience.
Yeah, you can't move forward unless you're learning from the things that you've done in the past, and ignoring the past isn't going to do any good either. So it's kind of that whole balance thing.
Balance, yes. Balance and intention and choose. Those are our words for sure.
Yep.
As we do that. Yeah. And I think just greater self-awareness. Like, what are your habits? What are your go-tos? You know, what kind of choices are you making that maybe aren't serving you, or maybe they're really doing you a lot of good? You know, build on that and use that as your momentum moving forward.
Absolutely. Reflecting on both positive and negative gives you opportunities for learning, and then that will assist you in goal setting and creating clearer, more meaningful goals. Because everyone can say, oh yeah, I want to go to the gym, but what are you really going to do to get there? Oh, I want to launch this new thing in my business. But if you don't take the steps and set those goals to do those things, they just become things that you say.
Yeah. And I think about, like, when I first started, you know, doing this and putting in the time, you know, not just the general, you know, I remember Aaron would always ask me, why is that important to you? Why do you want to do this? Why does it matter? And then when you kind of get deep and get to that core, it's really magical, because all of a sudden you found that spark in you that's driving you to keep moving forward.
I like this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you don't reflect, you can't know what to change to get a different result. And that is absolutely, completely true.
Yeah. I mean, I think essentially that's exactly what we're trying to say is, you know, that is where your learning opportunity is. It doesn't mean if you didn't have a success in one area, that doesn't mean it was a failure. It just means it's an opportunity to learn. And I think remembering that is important.
I know as I've started the new year, I'm not where I want to be with getting back to intentional movement and things like that. And I just have to stop and take a moment to breathe. And it's not all or nothing. And I know for me, I get sucked into that all or nothing mindset or comparing myself to others. And that's kind of why I wore this shirt today. It's me versus me. I am my only competition.
Perfect.
And so that's, you know, a reminder to me that I need to just do me and reflect and set goals that are going to move me forward. So
yeah, that's really a powerful statement, you know, me versus me. I mean, we can only control our responses to these situations. And if we're getting outcomes that aren't getting us closer to where we think we want to be, we have to come back and choose a different response. And, you know, other people around us impact us and give us energy, positive or negative, whatever it might be. But we get to choose who we spend our time with. We get to choose if we take the time to reflect back on 2023. And all of that's going to help us moving forward to 2024.
speaking of, you get to choose who you spend your time with. My goal for this last year was to spend my time with positive, like-minded people, and it has served me so well. I have really made an effort, not that I don't like these people, but if they tend to be more negative, they don't tend to get my time as much either, because being an empathetic person, I pick up on everyone's vibrations and their feelings and stuff like that. And it can bring me up or it can bring me down. And so I need to concentrate on being up, because there's, it's life's a roller coaster. So my wish for everyone this year is to take that time, even weekly, like for the Choose Challenge, and reflect and celebrate. Use gratitude as your superpower. There's this calendar. It's a really easy challenge. It's a Facebook group. So if you want, join. It's never too late, because they're all mindset tools that are going to help move you forward and having a better life and a wonderful 2024.
It acts as a tool to hold yourself accountable. As that gentle reminder, like your choose board, it's that reminder. This is important to me, so this is going to get done that day. I think that's really important. And like you said, I also wish everyone can be intentional and choose what works for you, and kind of let go of what didn't work. Don't dwell on the things that didn't go quite as planned. Let it go. Trust that more new growth is going to be coming in 2024, and have that faith in yourself that you can do these hard things. Sometimes it's going to be hard, but it's all worth it. It's all part of the journey.
And sometimes, I don't want to call it failure. Sometimes you have to pivot in order to get to the end result. You might not be able to see where you're going quite as well at first. And then if you're able to have the attitude that, okay, this didn't work, I can now pivot and do something different and try again. Sometimes you'll get such wonderful, unexpected results that you will be happy that you made that choice. The other thing I want to mention is that Kylene and I are going to be having a conversation tonight on the Choose Facebook page about creating your own affirmations and gratitude. So if you have time tonight, we will be on at 7:30 Central.
Yep.
On the Choose page on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's, gratitude, as we talked about at the beginning, it is our superpower, and using gratitude as we move forward and really getting into that habit of attitude of gratitude. It sounds cheesy, but it really is a powerful tool that we all have access to. Aaron mentioned your pivot. So pivot is a good word, really. It's about embracing the failure as a wonderful learning opportunity. Yes. Yeah. And it doesn't define you. I think sometimes people can really beat themselves up, can be hard on yourself. And while you need to reflect and see what didn't work and why, okay, that's information. Now let's move forward. And for me, that's one thing I am going to be working on, because I can get stuck sometimes. So really using these tools myself is really important.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kylene. This was a great conversation, and it was a great topic to start the new year with. I'm excited for the new year.
Yes, it was fun talking about this, and I hope you all have a wonderful 2024 and take the moment early in January just to reflect on your 2023.
All right, let's bring the rest of the Fab Four up. I know that you need to take off, so we will bring them up and see their point of view, and then we'll move on with the segment.
All right, sounds good. Well, bye everyone, and Happy New Year, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Have a great day.
You guys want me to push
really
buttons,
want to
but
leave.
then you push your own buttons. And, yeah. All right. Okay. Well,
keep you on your toes, Aaron.
Yeah, I love it. I need that, man. You guys are awesome. So that was such a great conversation. Before we kind of add our 2 cents here. There were a couple of other gratitude moments that popped up that I wanted to share before we get too far away from it. So let me just share those real quick. Michelle says, good morning. Today, I'm grateful for organization. Makes my mind more at ease. I love that.
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle. And then Chuck says, I'm grateful for the opportunity to wake up and see another day and have some family time. So that's wonderful, Chuck. Thank you for sharing. Let's see here. So I guess I wanted to also, Barb mentioned this a little bit earlier while you guys were talking. She says, I agree from learning from the past. I also think you should not dwell on the past. And, you know, I think that's where, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think that's where sometimes people do struggle with the whole reflection thing, because we look back and just as humans, we're naturally inclined to look for the things that didn't go well, the things that we didn't achieve, the goals that we didn't quite get all the way to. And I know that's not that's not how everybody views it, but I think that can be something that we can get ourselves into. And so what I've always tried to kind of explain for myself and then try to pass that along to Kylene is that fact that the past is a tool, and that's it. It's just a tool for us to have, you know, that's where we learn things. Once we've kind of got that knowledge, we can't lose that, right? So that goes into our toolbox. But the rest of the parts about the past, you know, the fear, the shame, the regret, we can't change any of that. So the more time you spend in that, the less time you're looking to the future. So, you know, I was just going to talk about, if this is the past over here, this is the future over here, we need to kind of be planted firmly in the present, knowing what we're doing, looking ahead to the future, and then using the things in the past to lift us up and move us forward. So that was a big takeaway for me, just based on Barb's comment and some of the things that you guys shared, Tanya.
Yep, absolutely. I'm glad that this came up for the beginning of the year, because I am one of those that used to dwell on the past and remain more negative and not allow myself to pivot and move forward. So it's a refreshing change.
Yeah. Becky, what about you? What things were showing up for you?
Well, the reflection is not something I have done with my business. So I guess that is something I would like to start doing. And so I don't know whether it's Tanya and I chatting sometime, or, I mean, yes, I need to probably sit and do it myself, but it just seems like it's a conversation that would go better for me if I was actually speaking it out with somebody or whatever. But I love Tanya's word for pivot. We use that in 2020 so much. They pivoted, I pivoted, you know, we've all pivoted at points, and it's just such a positive word compared to, you know, failure or changes, or however it was looking. You know, the word pivot just means that you've now found a better way, and it continues to move you forward. It doesn't hold you back. So that was the few things that stuck out for me.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that's really good. Actually, Barb also shared, Aaron, my dad, always told my sister and myself, if something didn't work out, to step back, think, reevaluate, and try something different, to try something a different way, or try something new. And yeah, that's really, really good. Michelle shared, I've wrote down to remember, action with flexibility is the key to stress less goals. There you go. Action
Good
with
one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And then I guess when Becky, you talked about kind of reflecting back on your business, and I think ultimately it boils down to asking yourself enough questions to really get deep into the root of it, right? I also look at reflection as an opportunity to be brutally honest with ourselves, right? Like, what are we pretending not to know, right? What you know, not what could we do better the next time? Not what should we have done, right? And they're like could and should, those seem very similar. They're actually very different, right? What could's a possibility. Should is shooting on yourself, right?
Very negative. Very negative.
Yeah. So from that, excuse me, Tony, did you give me over the airwaves here? No, I'm kidding. So I think it is really important to, you know, kind of take this moment for reflection, to also say it's a safe space to be brutally honest with yourself, right? And really get down into the why, right? Okay, if I didn't achieve my goal 100%, you know, what choices did I make that next year or next moment I can make differently. It's not about the blame or just assigning, the negative stuff, right? We have to let go of that side of it. And what we have to do is look at what is that learning opportunity that I can put in my tool belt that'll help me the next time. And that's it. That's all it's good for. But you have to get brutally honest with yourself and say, how was I responsible for that situation? Right. So
Absolutely.
yeah. And I'm not going to remember the quote exactly, but it's attributed to Einstein. Nobody's ever actually been able to prove it. But the whole idea that, if you had a problem that your life depended on it and you had an hour to solve it, that you spend the first 55 minutes figuring out the right questions to ask, because once you ask the right question, then the answer will show up. Right. And so to me, that just means, okay, I just ask a whole bunch of questions. I know it drives Kylene crazy because I always answer her questions with another question, but the depth comes from asking questions. So anyhow, sorry, I get excited about it.
That's okay. I think that we have a short video to watch on yoga, and then we will move into uncommon mindset.
All right. Well, we'll do the yoga video. We'll pop back in here real quick, and then we'll do the uncommon mindset like Tanya said. So thank you. Here we go. All right.
If you haven't had the opportunity to try yoga or try yoga with Kylene, you get a free class, and I highly recommend it. I know I am excited to get back to being on a schedule with yoga because I've been off for a couple of months now. So tomorrow morning I will be at yoga.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's and like you said, Kylene does. Just check it out. Go to riseshinesmile.com. Go to the online yoga stuff there, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you can sign up to just show up for free and check it out and see if it's right for you. See how it might help you and learn more about it. So if you think it's not for you, you're wrong. Okay. Just
I tell you, I've gained throughout the last 2 years of doing it with her. It was key to helping me regain flexibility, balance, and strength when I wasn't fully mobile. And now it's even better.
Awesome.
Yeah, and she offers the chair yoga to start. So if you don't feel like you can do yoga, you can start with the chair. And also hers is gentle. So it's just a great way to get into it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, great feedback, you guys. Okay. Well, Becky, are we ready for the uncommon mindset here? Ready to dive in?
I am.
Okay.
I think.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Here we go. Boom. All right. Well, welcome into Uncommon Mindset. As you can tell, it's a little bit different. I have Becky along with me here, which is awesome. I don't know how well you guys tell us, but I feel like sometimes Becky can be my translator. So, but just the insight that we get to share together. So I'm excited about it. But do you kind of want to introduce what we're getting started with here in the Uncommon Mindset?
So we made this change, or decided to make this change, as Aaron and I have been busily, well, he's probably been more busy than I have. I really took off between Christmas and New Year's and kind of, I think I said it yesterday, I landed somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle and have been trying to get out to get back to work. But we're working on some workshop and some trainings and some training opportunities for everybody. And so over the next several weeks, we are going to kind of give you guys a taste of what you could find in those training opportunities. Obviously, we don't have near enough time to go through everything that we need to here. So we're going to just give a few bite-sized pieces for you to kind of see what you get and those training opportunities would be able to give you so much more in depth, especially with what we're starting with. We're going to restart here with the clarifying your reason. And that has been a huge one for me, as you'll see as we go through here. And it's a perfect place to start because I feel like the rest of the training really doesn't make sense or doesn't seem to flow into it until you've gotten through this point. So
no, 100%.
that is, yep.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other cool part about this, like you said, we get to give people a taste. We're going to give you as much as we can in the time frame that we have available to us here. But yeah, like you said, the goal is this is working up to a couple things. So we'll have kind of a business blueprint training, and then from there we have our kind of roots of success, we're calling it, which is going to be a extensive 12-week workshop, and then leading into a in-person event where we get to do even more kind of experiential exercises to help kind of ground some of this information, right? So we try to dig pretty deep. I'm all about getting to the roots and getting them really strong, and Becky is really too, where once we have that foundation, those roots, the rest of business becomes easy. And that's what we talk about when we're talking about, we want you to fall in love with your business, right? Because when it's easy, it's fun, you're in flow, right? You're that to me is what I want to fall in love with. So, and like you said, clarifying your reason is the foundation. So, I guess where I think we should start out here, Becky, is as I mentioned, I like to ask questions. And one of the first questions I always ask people especially when I'm meeting a new small business owner is, why, right? Why did you start your business? What's driving you to take on the challenge of being a small business owner? And, interestingly enough, I've asked that question quite a few times, and I don't have specific stats, but 9 times out of 10, I would wager to guess that the answer is to make money, right? I started a business to make money. And I always kind of go, okay, cool. That's awesome. But why did you really start a business? And I get that weird look and they go, I just told you, what is this guy deaf or what? Right. But here's what I've learned is that when I get to work with these small businesses, as we get a little bit deeper, I've been around these small business people for pretty much my whole life, with my dad's CPA firm and then all the things that I've been able to do. And I know that there are challenges that come with being a small business owner. And so the reason to start a business has to be more impactful than just to make money, right? And people go, oh, well, money is really important. Yeah, but there's lots of other ways to make money, right? Than being a small business owner. And so ultimately, our reasons have to be more impactful than any potential excuses we have for not doing the work that's needed for success, right? We have to be able to kind of press up against our comfort zone and take some actions, especially as small business owners, because a lot of times we're on our own, right? There isn't somebody else there to tell us what to do or to do it for us. So we got to do things that are a little bit uncomfortable for us. So let me say this one more time, just so I'm really clear on this. Your reason, and that's why we call it clarifying your reason must be bigger than your excuse, right? And like I said, yes, we want to make money. Yes, we want to provide for our families, but there are other ways to do that. And so we really have to dig in deeply into why it is that we have started this business. And some people might have heard of the book by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. And so you'll hear it as a why or a purpose or a mission or whatever, but we always refer to it as a reason. And so I guess, Becky, I was kind of reflecting, there we go, coming back to Wellness Toolbox, but I was kind of reflecting on when you and I had an opportunity to really first start talking about this. And I asked you that question, why did you start your business? So I'm curious, right, from your vantage point now that you're removed from that time, what was your kind of initial thought when you started thinking about that? And really, I guess, how has that changed since you've been able to think more deeply about it and we've worked together on it a little bit?
Well, I remember you asking me this question. I was the typical pad your stats. I'm going to, start this business to make some money and spend some time with my family. That was the goal.
Yeah.
Now, if I look back and I reflect on how that first started, I'm pretty sure I didn't spend or didn't make a whole lot of money. And I'm pretty sure I didn't spend a lot of time with my family because I was busy in the business. Busy being busy, I guess, is how I would put it. So my answer is pretty typical. So, and when you started questioning me and asking the further questions of why, I definitely, I'm pretty sure you got the dumb look of, well, what do you mean? I did just give
I
you an
think I
answer.
was like, oh, man, I'm glad we're doing this virtually. I think she wants to hit me.
I don't know if I was quite that bad, but
Uh,
it was like, well, what do you mean? I don't understand. And I know I sat with that for quite a while. I know I think we ended our session that day and I hadn't really gotten very far. And then I was supposed to do the homework or do the whatever. And I know I was just stumped. I mean, just stuck was really where I was at. And so coming, and as I said, okay, Aaron, we need to have another meeting because I'm not not getting where I want to be, and so I know amongst having more meetings with you and really working through that to find that reason and find that purpose of really why I was doing the business that I'm doing. So
yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, that's so cool. And the really fun part is, and as I've been able to get to know you even more and more, right? You have this superpower where you're really good at questioning or finding different avenues and angles too. And so once you kind of started unlocking that, I'm like, oh my goodness, I got a partner in crime here.
I call that being the devil's advocate.
Yeah, there you go, the devil's advocate. Yeah. It just. I think also sometimes when we start thinking about it, right, it does get a little bit, I don't know, we have to dig into some things, right, and answer those hard questions of why. And maybe there's some feelings and limiting beliefs that are in the way of all that too. And so we're kind of just like, that's why we get into that busyness zone that you talked about, right? It's like, well, as long as I'm busy, then I'm at least moving. And that's great, taking action. But I think if you stop, slow down, and do this working on your business stuff, then you can really get there. So, the other part about this that is so important, when we start to clarify our reason, is that it does really start to solve a lot of problems that seem tough to overcome for small businesses, right? We have a lot of hard questions in front of us. We have a lot of things that we have to decide, and it just clears up these challenges. It kind of makes the path a little more clear, because now you have a basis to answer those questions on, right? So you've got to make a decision. Who are my ideal customers? Okay, well, if I know what my reason is, then those ideal customers are going to be the people that align with my reason, right? They have a similar need or purpose, and my reason, my purpose can help them, right? And so that helps make that question a lot easier to answer. What products or services should I be offering? Same thing. Does it align with my reason? Does it keep me inside of my values and who I am, and what that reason for existing and being in business is, right? What should my marketing message be? Just keep sharing your reason over and over again, and you will start attracting the right people. I mean, it's so simple, it seems difficult, right? But if it aligns with your reason, the answers tend to be yes. And so I guess, Becky, my next question for you, as I'm continuing to question you here, after you clarified your reason, has it opened up some new doors or pointed out new opportunities that maybe you wouldn't have recognized without some clarity of your reason?
Without a doubt, there's opportunities and things that I'm actually working towards. Well, working with you guys, being on the podcast. Those are things that were not things I would have said I would do or considered doing or anything like that.
And
I know
finally,
Tanya pushed you for a long time to get on video.
Yeah, she tried really hard.
Yeah, I know.
but in finding that purpose and that reason and whatever, it was also realizing that not every customer is for me. In the early days, you're just, every time somebody wanted an order or asked a question, you're like, yep, I can do it. Yep, I can do it. And it's like, okay, now that I've figured this out, this, not everybody is my customer, and I won't say I have to be okay with it. It's that I am okay with it, that I can say no and not feel like I'm losing a sale or I'm not going to make any money, because that doesn't benefit me in my business and what I want to do. So it just, yes. And then opportunities that have the doors that have opened that, you're just, I think when I find that why, you just are so much more open to the opportunities that land in front of you, and you're willing to say yes to them, and you're willing to see them where before you wouldn't even be seeing them because you weren't focused on that part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I know it's open up some other things for you because you kind of discovered a bit more, but not discovered. I think that's right. I think you were able to put language to it. For example, the knitting classes, if I'm getting that right.
Mhm.
That aligns with your reason, and so it's
Very
awesome to
much
see
so.
you be excited about it, right? And
Yep.
so those types of things. Okay, all right. Well, let's see here. So, I guess at this point, and let's pop up this comment from Tanya here real quick. She says, "I'm so proud of Becky and have thoroughly enjoyed watching her grow and blossom." So that's awesome.
Thank you, Tanya.
So, okay, here, let me start here. For me, it took a massive amount of effort to try to kind of get to this point where I really felt clarity about what my reason is. And I mean, I literally spent years trying to kind of uncover my personal reason. And I even kind of got to a point that I got so frustrated. I mean, I was going to events and reading books and I one of the main reasons I went to my very first Jack Canfield event was I just didn't really understand what my purpose was, right? And I was like I had read the Simon Sinek book, Find Your Why, and I had all this information there. And I got so frustrated that I really kind of was almost just resigned to the fact that I'm just an oddball. I'm the one person in the world that doesn't have a purpose. I mean, I was right there. Thank goodness I had Kylene around me to keep me moving forward. And, but I had this chance meeting with somebody that just kind of unlocked it for me. And after that got unlocked for me, I realized that it was actually really simple, rather simple, at least at its core, to kind of figure this out. But we have to be willing to get out of our own way, right? We stand in the way of it. We have to be willing to kind of play full out, act as this kind of be open to things. But most importantly, we have to be willing to listen to our gut instinct, intuition, whatever it is that you call that inner voice that tells you these things, because it will sit there and tell you what you need to hear if you'll listen to it. Right? And so we tend to make it a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. So I kind of found these 3 areas. I'm going to see if I can get it up on screen. I actually was a little remiss and I thought I had it, but then it didn't show up. But so let me share the screen here. I will put this on the screen. Let's see if it shows up. There we go. Okay. So these 3 areas, once you kind of get some depth on that. So first area is, what are you good at? Right. Those are your strengths. The second area is what you love. Those are your passions. And then the third area is your values. But as you see if you're watching the video here, opposite of what you dislike. So I found it easier because, again, our human nature is to find the problems and look out for danger, that kind of thing. So if you go and look for the things that are kind of pet peeves and then realize that the opposite of that are your core values, then you have it, right? So, Becky, we can kind of definitely hit the main points here. But if this is something the listeners are interested in exploring deeper, obviously we've talked about the workshops coming up, and so we will go a lot deeper there. But in the meantime, if they just want to reach out to me at consultaaron.com, where is that little link? There it is. You can certainly do that, and we can give you more details about the workshop or whatever you might need to help you. But these are these 3 main areas here, Becky, and so just to kind of run through them, pinpointing our strengths. And I know for me it was a challenge. I think you had a similar experience, right? Because again, we're so good at these things that we don't even notice it, right? And so our strengths, right, they don't show up as strengths for us. That's who we are. And so it's really hard for us to pick this out. For me, I was able to take the Clifton Strengths Assessment, and that was actually that key that unlocked things for me. There are some alternatives like the high 5 test, and so we can send you to those things if you're interested. But kind of getting an idea of what those strengths are and getting some language to that. That's the first kind of column, so to speak. The second column is, what are you passionate about, right? These are the actions you find yourself doing that you do it with such passion that 2 things actually happen. You have a hard time even thinking about charging for it because it's just, I love doing it. Why would I charge somebody to do something I love? right? And so that's a passion. And then the other thing that'll happen is you'll just lose all track of time when you get engaged in an activity and you really kind of feel like you're in flow. Not the mind numbing kind of scrolling type activities, but that activity where you're actually actively doing something and really making progress. And then you go, oh my gosh, I just spent 4 hours doing that without taking a break, that kind of thing. So those are your passions. For me, it's sharing some of this stuff, right? I can really get into that. And then the third thing is those values, right? What are your core values? And again, I always like to look at what are your pet peeves, right? What things drive you a little bit nuts? And really important here, this is not a person or a thing that is a pet peeve of yours. This is an action that is a pet peeve of yours and something that you might maybe find a little bit annoying. And because then from there you can kind of go, oh, well, the opposite of that, right? So if wasting time, that's a pet peeve of mine, right? Well, the opposite of that is being efficient. Right. And so that's a core value of mine, those types of things. So those are kind of the three areas, and kind of the intersection, the pattern of those three things is typically about what your reason is. That's really your purpose of that. So, it could be, lots of different things, and you kind of take it from there. So I guess from that, Becky, how did you uncover your reason? What resonated with you the most as you went through this process?
Well, you had given me the strengths test, the first one, I think, right? The Clifton one. And I actually
I think you ended up doing both, right? Yeah.
Well, I did two. I was gonna say I did two of them because that's who I am. Overachiever or whatever it is,
Yes,
I guess.
Indeed.
But the problem that I got out of when I got those, I didn't quite understand what the strengths actually meant. So that was the other part. I was blocked on exactly what those were saying to me. And so that was when, with meeting with you, then we could definitely walk through those different strengths. And even though the two tests had different words for those strengths, I think 2 out of 3 of them were exactly the same on both tests. I mean, so they were there. They were definitely showing through. But I needed that information. And like I said, then I got blocked. So that's where definitely reaching out to you helped me. And I think everybody that, maybe other people are better at it than I am, but I think it makes a big difference to have somebody to walk you through and continue to ask those questions back to you. Like you were saying, answer that question with a question, because you just see the surface stuff and then you just block yourself to the point where you are not getting any deeper. And once we were able to see those strengths and we could talk through those, I mean, it just started to flow. Because I think after we had that, I mean, it was within that session that we found that I wrote the why. We wrote the why, and honestly, I don't know that I've actually changed it at all since we found it. You had different verbiage than I did. And I just had different verbiage that actually spoke a little bit more to me. We both said the exact same thing. It was just what worked for me at that point. So,
and I think that's so crucial, Becky, is that it has to speak to you. Right. And so one of the things I also try to do with folks is, go through this stuff, but I always like to say, just give this a try, right? Put a draft out there and of kind of what speaks to you. That way I'm not putting my perception of you on top of it, right? Because that's never going to work. I can't tell you what your why is going to be. You can't tell me what my why is going to be. It has to come from me. And that's where we go back to, I got to trust my gut instinct, intuition, whatever that is for you. And so, when you've kind of got these 3 areas, then the next kind of step is that intersection of them, putting some deeper language to it. Right. And so, for me, it's to cultivate an uncommon mindset in proactive small business owners through essential fundamentals to maximize fulfillment by achieving their goals, right? All of those words meant something to me, but I can boil that down simply into how to fall in love with their business, right? And I want to inspire those proactive small business. So see, everything fits together. And now I can make all my decisions based on that, right? So the typical kind of template that we'll cover in detail in the workshops when they're ready is basically this. So it starts with a to, so to inspire, to cultivate, to Becky, what's yours off top? I can't remember.
Mine does not start with two.
But it's
there.
Yeah.
So mine reads supporting communities by developing creative solutions and personalized service that are appreciated for years to come.
Gotcha. But it does actually start with to. You just didn't have to support, right?
Right.
So the action you're taking is to support. Hi, Cora. And so it starts off with to, and then the contribution that you're going to make, and then and then kind of filling in the result of your contribution to others. And so it's pretty simple, right? What is it that you're going to do, and what is the result that people are going to get from that? And so again, share yours one more time and kind of talk to us about, how that's kind of unlocked things for you.
So mine says supporting communities by developing creative solutions and personalized service that's appreciated for years to come. So by unlocking that, and I remember finding it, and I remember when the first time I told the MOS group about it, and Kylene's like, Becky, you're just glowing with it. And honestly, it is. It felt like there was a weight lifted off my shoulders. It just really felt like I had found what I needed. So, the developing the creative solutions, I love to be able to design something. I've grown a lot in that in the 6 years I've been in business here. And I'm still not the most efficient at it, but I do love when I can have a customer come and they can give me a very vague, here's what I'm looking for. And I love when they love what I bring them, and it's exceeded beyond what they were expecting. So, and with that, being able to support the community with, I offer the web stores for the different clubs, the different groups, and being able to support that back into the community, into our schools and into our clubs. That personalized service, being able to help an individual find what they need, make what they need. I'm really good about the last minute stuff. I love being able to be that hero at the end to kind of step in if I can. I've gotten better about saying, no, I can't. If it just doesn't work into my schedule, and if it just doesn't work with what I want to do. Yep. And then being able to be that, that's being appreciated for years to come. And that's not just me being appreciated. That's the product that I'm putting out there. And as far as what it's opened up, it's opened up working with you. I would have never considered these knitting classes. I learned how to hand knit before Christmas and just casually mentioned it to our chamber. From there, it kind of exploded. I'm up to 5 classes right now. I've got a couple other communities that have reached out. And really that has filled my cup because I'm being creative. I get to be creative. And not only that, I'm now going to teach. So it's, I always thought I'd be a teacher when I was growing up, but it's not the typical teacher. I'm not teaching the children in the school. I am not cut out for that part. Teaching kids in school. We're headed back to school today. So
I'm back to school today. Okay. Well, this doesn't go back until tomorrow. So all right. So, okay. Go ahead, Becky. Sorry.
That was my kind of my wrap up to, it just really has opened up some opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise. Like I said, they probably would have been in front of me, but I just wouldn't have seen them
recognized. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's so cool. That's super cool. And, I've had similar experiences. And I know other people have too. And I guess the other thing that I'll leave folks with to kind of close with, your reason, your purpose, whatever it is you want to call it, right? It never does change. It's the same as from the day you were born. But what we're trying to do here is so I always say, use words like uncover or unlock, because the reality is we just need to get more clarity, right? It's deep inside of us. Our feelings and emotions express that because, again, we're in that state of joy, passion, all those things that you just talked about, Becky. Like, you just feel that sense when you are aligned with your purpose, right? And so we've always known that since we were born, but we need to make language to go along with it, so then we can utilize that in our business to answer the questions and do stuff like that. And so you're going to discover new ways to express it as you grow and as you learn. But God, the universe, source energy, whatever it is that you prefer to call it, they would not have put you on this earth without that. Right. And so from there, once you kind of have a little more clarity on that, it becomes your responsibility to just share it, right? Not only share the language of your reason so you can align your business and your everything that you're doing with it, but also share it as a gift, right? Ask yourself daily, how can I align with my reason? And this gives you so much more clarity in what you really want to do with your business. And then you can kind of lead into the next phase, which is, how are we going to then take that? If there's money to be made, right? We are talking about a business, so we do need to make money. What are the goals, right? And so without this, though, setting goals becomes, am I really chasing somebody else's thing, right? Or somebody else says I should have $1 million a year business, or I need to have a storefront, or whatever somebody else says. Well, they're not you, right? And so you need to make your goals from you, and so that'll. I'm going to leave it there, Becky, because that leads us into the next phase, which we can discuss more next week. Yep. But I think we gave him a pretty good rundown of what clarifying your reason is all about. So anything we missed?
I think the only other thing is the fact that you don't need to stay with that it will evolve as you evolve. I know Tanya has gotten hers and then now is actually working on hers a little bit more. I know, Aaron, yours started out different and, has evolved too. So I also want people to understand that just because you get it down or you figure it out or we get to a point where it's there, if you grow and it starts to not resonate with what you are doing or how you've grown, you can absolutely change it.
Yeah.
So,
and yeah, exactly. You're getting more clarity. You're discovering more ways to express it is another way that I might put that. So 100%. I'm so appreciative that you shared that with folks because don't feel like, I think that might be another challenge is we go, oh, I put that out there and I'm stuck with it. It's like, okay, and why not change it? Right. Or why not? Because you're not changing it, right? You're just, I think evolve is a great word that you chose there, Becky. So, perfect. Okay. Well, let's real quick. Speaking of goals, we've got the Goal Getters Masterclass series coming up here very soon. January 10th is going to be the first class. And so if you are not an OSG member, we do have an opportunity for you to become, to join us in this class. That way you can set goals. We will touch on this clarifying your reason at the beginning, and then we're going to take and go, okay, what's your goal? Let's pick out what your number one goal is, and then we're going to help you put a plan together to actually achieve that goal. So it's called Goal Getter for a reason. Everybody's a goal setter, but we want people to finally become goal getters and actually achieve what they're trying to do with their businesses. So can we play a quick word about that, and then we'll get Tanya back in here to close out, if that sounds good. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Did 2023 leave you feeling a bit frazzled?
Have you ever felt like your goals are just out of reach?
It's time to become a goal getter and achieve your number one goal. Don't let another year slip by with unmet goals.
With the Goal Getters Masterclass series, you will discover simple yet powerful strategies to turn your business vision into an achievable goal. We will provide you with the tools and strategies to not just set, but achieve your most ambitious goal.
You'll celebrate your past successes, plan a vivid business vision, and set you on your way to achieving your number one goal.
This is not just training, but a true masterclass where you will actively participate in exercises and receive personalized feedback.
Don't miss out. Grab your spot and start 2024 with a clear path to success. Join Aaron and Becky on this transformative journey, allowing you to create a goal that is worth achieving.
It's time you became a goal getter, not just another goal setter. Visit osg.link/GG series to reserve your spot in the masterclass.
You don't want to miss out.
I love hearing his voice.
I do too. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's a good kid, and I appreciate him helping me. And then I also, when I asked, okay, can we play this? And I saw Cora's thumbs up. I giggled. That was awesome. Thank you, Cora.
She went to make sure Nick was out of bed.
All right. There you go. Taking care of us. Well, Tanya, so what things stood out for you as we shared that? I know we're kind of getting to wrap up and you're going to put us on ice here in a second, but start there.
there were just so many things, and I was glad that Becky mentioned at the end that your why can change, because I was feeling a little bit bad about that, because I'm just like, I'm not resonating with what I've been doing, but it actually means that you're evolving and moving forward. You're not going to stay static the rest of your life. So I'm looking forward to the training so that I can narrow that down again and move forward with that. So that's exciting.
Sounds good. Well, you're part of the Masters of Success, so we can dive in whenever you're ready. But
I know.
I love that. So that's awesome. Next week we're gonna dive into in the uncommon mindset some of the goal setting stuff. So we'll talk more about that then. But Tanya, we are at that point where we need to understand a little bit more about inspiring, collaborating, and encouraging.
Awesome. So that's what ICE stands for: inspire, collaborate, and encourage. And it's kind of my love language. It makes me happy. I love to collaborate with others. And so that mindset goes hand in hand with choose. And if you haven't already, go to Facebook and go to the choose Facebook group. We are doing the challenge that I talked about earlier. And it's really easy. It's to post 3 things that you're grateful for, what do you choose, and a daily affirmation. And then once a week, reflect, like we talked about, and celebrate. Those are really important things. And in the Facebook group, I will have special guests occasionally. Kylene's going to be on tonight. We're going to be talking about creating your own affirmations as well as gratitude. I know we've talked about those things on one of our podcasts, but it never hurts to get it back out there again. So I'm excited about that. And then Aaron's going to be on. I need to kind of finalize some things with him, and we're going to be talking again about celebrating and all those good things. So let us know what you choose. Join the Facebook group, and let's make 2024 just amazing.
Awesome. All right. Well, definitely get over there. Facebook.com/groups/choose challenge. Yep. Let's pop those up there.
Today, I choose to embrace opportunities. Sometimes I don't jump immediately, and I need to quit overthinking so much.
Our brains, man, it's funny how they work. They're just there to protect us, trying to keep us safe. And the other side of that is they want to keep us safe from those emotional hurts too, right? And so, we just have to understand that and figure out how to partner with them. And I think being intentional, you guys said that, having tools to be able to choose, so good. So all right. Well, before we get to that, Michelle did have a comment that I wanted to share. I've worked on my why and changed it for 2024. And now after hearing all of this, I may work on changing it again. Yeah. And I think, because to me, this whole process is a cycle, right? We go through it. And so it's always something good to come back, reflect, right? We talked about that today. It's always good to come back and reflect even on what your reason is, right? Can you get a little more clarity? Can it evolve a little bit? Can you, quote unquote, change it, right? Because it's not necessarily changing. You're just changing the language that goes with how you share it, right? And how you express it. And so I think that's really, really awesome. And just wanted to say good morning to Angela joining us from the West Coast. So I always like to welcome those early risers in. All right. So yours, Tanya, your choose board. And if people want to go get their own, they're available there. There's the link. You can click on that. Embrace opportunities. What about you, Becky?
Mine says that I choose abundance. And I think that's so that I remember that I already have very much abundant of what I need. So
that's so cool. So cool. All right. Well, I feel your guys' handwriting is so much better than mine, but massive determined action is
nice. Yeah.
I've had my head down with the book, and I've used that as a justification for way too long. So it's time now that that's out there. I gotta catch up. So I'm excited to get things done.
In addition to the choose boards, the me versus me shirt is on there, as well as the day one day shirt. Those are kind of my launches for the new year. Good reminders. So
love it.
Cora wants you all to know that she is choosing love this week.
Oh,
Aw,
wow.
I love Cora.
I need to change mine. All right. Thank you, Cora. Well, so I guess what I'll leave folks with here is, those things we talked about, choosing, being a part of the challenge, all of these things, right? This is your opportunity to make 100% commitment to yourself, right? So make that 100% commitment to your choose word, to your affirmation, to, getting out there and being active, or, if you need to move your body or whatever it is for you, just be 100% committed to that. And so I'm curious if you guys that are tuned in live here will post in the comments. If you're watching the replay, post them in there as well. What did you take from today that you might implement? What actions are you going to choose to commit to? What are you choosing for yourself? What is your choose word that you've written on your Today I Choose board, right? So I love all that. And I can't wait to hear what other people are working towards. And here's the other cool part about putting this stuff out there, you guys, is when we put that stuff out into the ether, right? Somebody might go, oh, cool. I'm going to reach out to Becky and talk to her about that. Maybe I can support her. Maybe I can help her. I'm interested in that too. I love her reason. That really aligns with who I am too. I want to work more with that person. And we just it's like a magnet. We start making these magical connections. But if we don't put stuff out there, if we just hide and our comments are just, what the weather is and where I'm tuning in from, you're not going to get very far like that. You really need to kind of step it up and be engaged in all the communities that you find yourself engaged with. So, sorry, that's my little soapbox for the end of the show. All right. Well, anything else that we missed, you guys? I guess Kylene normally closes us out, so maybe that's why I've been dragging my feet. Becky, what do we need to do to close this off for today?
I don't know. I'm not Kylene.
I know.
I can't fill her shoes.
I just looked at you first on the screen. So
thanks for joining us on OSG Live today. We are looking forward to just a fantastic year and bringing this to you guys. Let us know if there's anything that you want to see covered. If you have any questions, send any of us messages. We are here to help and just want to see everyone grow and have a great year.
Awesome. Love it.
What Tanya said.
I gotcha.
Right.
Hi, Darren.
Yeah. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And we will catch you guys next Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central Time. So we'll see y'all there. Have a great day, everybody.
Have an amazing week, guys.